Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you the top 50 stories from around the world. I'm Alison Lagrange, coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. In our top stories, multiple attacks took place in the US yesterday. At least 15 people have been killed and 35 left injured after a truck rammed into pedestrians in New Orleans. The assailant has been identified as Shamsuddin Jabbar, and he is a U.S. Army veteran. He was killed in a shootout following the attack. Local authorities say they discovered weapons, explosives, and an Islamic State flag in his truck. The attack is being investigated as an act of terrorism. Meanwhile, a Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside a Trump hotel in Las Vegas. Suspect driving the vehicle was killed in the explosion and 7 others were injured. The police found firework mortars and camp fuel canisters in the Cybertruck. The targeted hotel belongs to U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. The U.S. President Joe Biden said that the investigation was underway to find any links between the Tesla explosion and the New Orleans attack. At least 11 people were injured in a mass shooting yesterday outside a nightclub in New York. The New York police said none of the victims were in a critical condition. The club was located in the Queens neighborhood. It was reportedly hosting a private party in honor of a known gang member who died last year. There were around 80 people outside the nightclub when the incident took place. A gunman killed at least 12 people in the nation of Montenegro yesterday. The attack took place in a small town called Senjin. Now, a 45-year-old man called Alexander Martinovic has killed people at several locations. He shot himself and succumbed to his injuries after he was surrounded by police and asked to surrender. Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, has warned that his country's forces will intensify the bombing in Gaza. He reiterated Israel's demand for the release of hostages taken by Hamas during the attack on the 7th of October 2023. Katz's warning comes amid ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas. And Israel's former defense minister, Yoav Gallant, has resigned from his country's parliament. Gallant was removed from the defense minister's post in November. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu removed him, citing trust issues and months of disagreement over the Gaza war. Gallant was replaced by Israel Katz, who earlier served as the country's foreign minister. Gallant has now resigned from parliament, but he says that he will remain a member of Netanyahu's Likud party. The Yemen-based Houthis claim to have destroyed an American MQ-9 Reaper drone. They say they shot it down in Yemen's capital province of Marib. The Houthi spokesperson said it was the second American drone that they shot down in the last 72 hours. The Houthis have made these claims after the U.S. military said it launched strikes against the group. At least 2 people were killed by a Russian drone strike in Ukraine's capital of Kiev. At least 6 people sustained injuries. The strike damaged residential buildings. Now, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said that even on the occasion of New Year, Russia wanted to hurt Ukraine. And the Syrian delegation is in Saudi Arabia for talks. This marks the first foreign visit by Syria's new leaders after rebels ousted President Bashar al-Assad. The Syrian delegation was headed by the new foreign minister and the defense minister, who were appointed by the rebel-led interim government. The Syrian officials called the visit the beginning of a new bright page in Syrian-Saudi relations. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has sent out a message to his regional allies. He spoke about Lebanon and Yemen. He called them symbols of resistance and said they will triumph over their enemies. Khamenei also said that the U.S. will be forced to leave Syria and that American bases will be trampled there. And Iran is set to hold nuclear talks with France, Britain and Germany on the 13th of January. The talks will take place in Geneva, Switzerland. The three European countries recently accused Iran of growing its stockpile of highly enriched uranium to unprecedented levels. They also raised the possibility of reimposing sanctions on Iran. India and Pakistan exchanged a list of nuclear installations and facilities yesterday. The exchange took place under an agreement that obstructs both nations from attacking each other's atomic installations. India and Pakistan also shared lists of civilian prisoners and fishermen under each other's custody. New Delhi shared names of 381 civilian prisoners and 81 fishermen, while Islamabad shared names of 49 civilians, prisoners, and 217 fishermen believed to be Indians. The city of Bhopal in central India got rid of 337 metric tons of toxic waste from the Union Carbide pesticide factory, 40 years after the gas leak from the manufacturing unit killed over 5,000 people. A 250-kilometer green corridor was created to transport the waste from Bhopal to Pithampur town for disposal. And South Korean police raided the offices of Jeju and the operator of the Muan International Airport on Thursday. The raids were conducted as a part of the probe after 179 people died due to a fatal plane crash of a Boeing plane on the 29th of December. The flight, carrying 181 passengers on board, landed on its belly, killing all except 2 flight attendants. And Bangladesh is reportedly revising its history textbooks from grades 4 to 9. The revised textbooks will remove Awami League founder Mujibur Rahman's Father of the Nation title. The title was popularized during his daughter Sheikh Hasina's prime ministerial tenure. Now, the new textbooks will state that the former president, Ziaur Rahman, declared the country's freedom and not Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. And in climate news, England's Manchester City faced severe flooding after heavy overnight rain on the first day of 2025. The water submerged roads and left vehicles abandoned across the northern English city. Drone footage captured the scale of the deluge, showing cars partially submerged in water. Local council workers scrambled to clear drains and mitigate damage. And Lebanon ushered in the new year with a heavy snowstorm that blanketed Mount Lebanon in white. The snowy weather pushed the temperatures dipping below freezing. The thick snowfall also resulted in road closures near the mountains. Authorities deployed bulldozers to help clear the snow. Brazil's Amazon rainforest faced its worst fire season in 17 years in 2024. There were over 140,000 fires recorded. This is according to satellite data from the National Institute for Space Research. This marked a staggering 42% increase compared to 2023 and the highest number since 2007. The fires, fueled by a prolonged drought, worsened by human-induced climate change. And China experienced its warmest year on record in 2024. The national average temperature reached 10.92 degrees Celsius. This is a 1.03 degrees Celsius above the historical norm. This is according to the China Meteorological Administration. This marked the hottest year since record-keeping began in 1961. India recorded its hottest year on record in 2024, with temperatures above the long-term average from 1991 to 2020. Prolonged and severe heat waves swept the nation, with temperatures exceeding 45 degrees Celsius in multiple regions. The extreme heat was part of the global pattern of unprecedented climate-driven weather events. And on to business news now. Oil prices rose on the first trading day of 2025. The rise came as investors eye Chinese economy's recovery and fuel demand. Hopes for recovery stem from Chinese President Xi Jinping's New Year promise to promote growth. Brent crude futures rose by 17 cents to $74.82 a barrel, while the U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures gained 19 cents to $71.91 a barrel. And BMW and Yamaha Motors have invested in American startup Phoenix Tailings. Investment in rare earths processing startup is a bid to boost production of the strategic metals outside China. These metals are used in producing electric vehicles, cell phones, and other electronics. The sales of Chinese car maker BYD jumped at the end of the year. The sales jump has pushed BYD closer to the title of the world's best-selling electric vehicle maker of 2024. BYD sold 1.76 million cars last year, with 207,700 cars in December alone. And China's factory activity in December grew at a slower pace than expected. A private sector survey showed the slower growth owing to the falling export orders amid trade outlook concerns. China-based Alibaba Group Holding Ltd is set to sell its stake in hypermarket chain Sun Art Retail Group. Alibaba's majority stake will be sold to Chinese private equity firm DCP Capital. The deal has been finalized for $1.58 billion. Alibaba bought the controlling stake in Sun Art for $3.6 billion in 2020, hoping to further leverage its digital presence to back hypermarket chain. The shares of Maruti Suzuki India Limited witnessed a jump for the third straight session. The stock is up by 4.81% on the NSE, while on benchmark Nifty, it is up by around 1.29%. The Sensex gained by 1.25%. Maruti Suzuki India Limited has gained around 4.15% in the last 1 month. And according to a private sector survey, South Korea's factory activity reported a fall in December of 2024. The Purchasing Managers Index, the PMI, for manufacturers fell to 49 last month from 50.6 in November. And this was due to pessimistic sentiment in manufacturers, owing to the uncertainty over U.S. trade policy and domestic politics. Nigeria is set to form a national credit guarantee company starting in May this year. The company will lend money to individuals and businesses. The announcement was made by Nigerian President Bola Tinubu yesterday. The move is aimed at expanding credit access. And Malaysia communications regulator granted Tencent's WeChat and ByteDance's TikTok licenses to operate in the country. The permission was given under the new social media law. The law makes it mandatory for social media platforms having more than 8 million users to obtain a license in the country. And Apple is offering rare discounts on iPhones in China. The offers have a rebate of more than $68 on certain products, including the flagship iPhone 16 Pro model. The scheme, running between the 4th and 7th of January, is being seen as Apple's bid to defend its market share. This as the US tech giant faces rising competition from domestic rivals. And moving to sports news, and we start with cricket. Sri Lanka beat New Zealand by 7 runs in the third and final T20 international of the series. Sri Lanka put into bat first, scored 218 runs for the loss of 5 wickets. Kusal Perera hit a century and made 101 runs off just 46 balls. In response, the hosts managed to score 211 runs. New Zealand won the T20 series 2-1. In Sydney, Indian and Australian cricketers attended a New Year reception hosted by Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and his fiancée Jodie Hayden. The Australian Prime Minister praised Indian star pacer Jasprit Bumrah and described his performance as deeply exciting. India and Australia will play the 5th and final Border Gavaskar Trophy Test in Sydney starting tomorrow. Indian fast bowler Jasprit Bumrah scripted history in the ICC Test rankings. The world #1 Test bowler went past his former teammate Ravichandran Ashwin to become the highest-rated Indian bowler. Bumrah now has 907 rating points, surpassing Ashwin's previous high of 904. Meanwhile, reports say that batter Rishabh Pant may be axed from India's test squad for the fifth and final Border-Gavaskar test. The wicketkeeper batter has scored just 154 runs in the ongoing test series. Pant's dismissal in Melbourne Test drew massive criticism, most famously from Indian cricket great Sunil Gavaskar. And in football, Arsenal secured a 3-1 win over Brentford in the Premier League after trailing 1-0 in the first half. Arsenal's Gabriel Jesus equalised in the 29th minute. Arsenal then added 2 more goals. Gabriel Martinelli scored the winner, and with this win, Arsenal have moved to second behind table toppers Liverpool. And Marcus Rashford has denied reports of seeking new representation to leave Manchester United. Rashford confirmed on Instagram that his agent's status remains with his sibling. The 27-year-old termed the reports of him approaching a sports agency as ridiculous. And goalkeeper Gabriel Slonina has returned to Chelsea after his loan spell at Barnsley, and the Blues officially confirmed his return. In a statement on social media, Slonina had said that Barnsley will hold a special place in his heart. And Britain made it to the United Cup quarterfinals. This comes as Katie Bolter beat Australia's Olivia Garecki 6-2, 6-1 in their last group stage match. The Brits finished on top of their group by winning the greatest percentage of sets. In chess, Magnus Carlsen denied match-fixing allegations over joint title win in the World Blitz Championship. This comes as a backstage video of Carlsen suggesting to play short draws went viral. Carlsen described his backstage remarks as a bad joke made in jest. Carlsen and his Russian rival Ian Nepomniachtchi shared the World Blitz title with mutual consent and FIDE's approval. And India will honour 4 athletes with Major Dhyan Chand Ratna Award. The newly crowned chess world champion Gukesh will be awarded with the Khel Ratna. Shooter Manu Bhaker, who became the first Indian to win 2 Olympic medals in a single edition, will also be honoured. The men's hockey team captain Harmanpreet Singh will also receive the Khel Ratna, and high jump Paralympian Praveen Kumar will be felicitated as well. Now, Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna is India's top sports honour. In entertainment news, Justin Baldoni has accused actor Ryan Reynolds of bullying him in a lawsuit. The case accuses Reynolds of outright berating Baldoni during a January 2024 meeting at the former's house. The lawsuit describes the Deadpool star's behaviour as bullying. This comes after actor Blake Lively sued Baldoni for sexual harassment. And the legal troubles for Sean Diddy Combs are mounting, and so are delays in lawsuits. Currently held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, the rap mogul is reportedly refusing to leave his jail cell. This is causing delays in the multiple sexual assault lawsuits against him. The legal team requested a postponement of scheduled January conferences to February, citing the defendant's non-compliance as the key reason for delays. Starting the 1st of January 2025, literary classics and beloved characters like Tintin and Popeye have become the property of the public domain in the US. This is happening after 95 years of copyright protection. These works will now be free for everyone to adapt, share, and build upon. These additions join past icons like Sherlock Holmes and Mickey Mouse in the ever-expanding cultural playground for creators. And Jennifer Lopez is proving that she is a force in Hollywood. Her new sports drama, Unstoppable, is earning rave reviews. However, Lopez says that her best work is still ahead of her. Unstoppable tells the real-life story of Judy Robles, a mother who raised her son, Anthony Robles, a college wrestling champ with one leg. And the Jonas Brothers ushered in their 20th anniversary with a bang. During a performance, they teased big plans for 2025. Among their revelations was a collaboration with Marshmello dropping the 17th of January, and Nick Jonas's Broadway return in the last 5 years. Neil Young, a Canadian-American singer-songwriter, has pulled out of the 2025 Glastonbury Festival. He has cited concerns about its increasing corporate influence. In a statement, the rock legend lamented the event's partnership with a media house. He described it as a departure from the festival's original ethos. And Mark Wahlberg has traded his usual hero persona for a menacing turn in Mel Gibson's thriller, Flight Risk. He is playing the role of a psychotic, balding hitman. In the film's trailer, Wahlberg goes head-to-head with an FBI agent on a perilous Alaskan flight. The trailer teases high-octane action and Wahlberg embracing his villainous role with relish. The film is set for release on the 24th of January. The makers of In Love Me released its trailer. The video shows Kirsten Stewart and Steven Yeun explore love and AI in a post-human world. The film spans in billions of years from now, with Stewart as a boy and Yeun as a satellite navigating what it means to connect in a world shaped by technology. Rihanna revealed that 2024 was an alcohol-free year for her, a decision she shared in a casual yet celebratory New Year's Eve Instagram post. Ringing in 2025 in New York City with A$AP Rocky and friends, the singer-entrepreneur reflected on her milestone. The reason for her abstinence remains personal. And in another year of underwhelming progress, women directed just 16% of 2024's top 250 grossing films. This is according to San Diego State University's latest report. This marks no improvement from the previous year, where their representation fell to 11%. The data highlights Hollywood's snail-like pace in addressing gender disparity. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.